rescue dogs, good dogs for first-time dog owners. Hello beautiful dog people, welcome back to the channel. My name is Stephanie and today it's all about whether first-time dog owners can adopt rescue dogs and whether they should or shouldn't. And if you have been here before, you know this. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Stephanie. I'm a rescue dog mom to 3 rescue dogs, 2 street dogs and 1 from a local charity. And I'm absolutely pro-rescue. However, there's a few things I would like to add to this discussion. This video is not a black or white yes or no answer. So if you're looking for someone to make a decision for you based on absolutely no information, then this is not the video for you. This video is rather helping you to guide your own thoughts, gives you an indication and guide to come up with a decision that is good and right for you. The short answer is it depends, and I will tell you right now without any further ado on what it actually does depend on. So firstly, it obviously depends on the dog. So what kind of rescue are we talking about? And when we talk about rescue dogs, this can be quite a wide variety of dogs. And very often people think there's something wrong with these dogs, or these dogs have massive behavioral issues, which is not actually that often the case. There's plenty of reasons why dogs have been surrendered by owners. This can be dogs who have been in the shelter maybe only for a short time. A rescue dog could also be a dog who might have been rescued out of a situation, or maybe an owner passed away. So generally rescue dogs could be shelter dogs, it could be stray dogs, it could be street dogs, it could be rehomes, it could be a lot of things. So the first question is obviously, what kind of dog is it? Where do you consider adopting from? If you adopt a dog from a shelter, if you adopt a dog from the street. And if I say street dog, this could be a dog from abroad, this could be a stray dog from a local shelter, so basically a dog who has arrived in the shelter and they don't know the history of the dog, who maybe has been in the shelter for only a short time, who has not been with a foster family, so they don't really know yet how the dog will behave in a home environment. If you have a street dog and you adopt, like I did, from the Middle East or from somewhere else abroad, you maybe never meet the dog before you actually get the dog delivered to your house. So there's quite a long time involved until the dog is ready to fly, etc. And you get a dog where you obviously can get like some information. However, these are dogs who have never ever lived in a house, who are not really domesticated dogs, who have been spending time in foster homes or shelter homes after they have been taken in from the streets, and who have not been socialized as a puppy, who had no human contact, compared to a dog who would be with a breeder or something else. So getting a dog like this would obviously be very different than rehoming a friend's dog or someone you know. I will do more videos on street dogs, and there's already plenty of videos on my channel. So one video is 7 things I wish I knew before adopting a street dog. So if you're interested in street dogs particularly, then please feel free to check this video out. I will focus on here on rescue dogs in general, so this could also be shelter dogs, etc. Then if you have a shelter dog, one thing also obviously you would like to question or would like to know about the dog is the history, if you can. But even if the owner or whoever has surrendered the dog, or if the dog has been taken away, you just be aware you only get part of the story, right? So you will never really know what happened to the dog, so there might be things revealing over time that, you just didn't know. It also depends on how much trauma did the dog have, how long has the dog been in the shelter, was he constantly overlooked because he was maybe shy and not as happy tail wagging in front row as some other dogs, has the dog done well in the situation. Some dogs adapt quite quickly and don't mind. Other dogs find it really difficult if their person is suddenly no longer there, and if the person is suddenly gone and they are in a shelter environment. Other dogs might have been properly rescued out of whatever dog fighting rings, who have been bait dogs, whatever it might be. So there's like plenty of scenarios what it could be of having a rescue dog, or what it could mean to rescue a dog or to adopt a shelter dog. So this is why I say there's no right black or white answer. Like, it's not black and white, it depends, and it really depends on what is the dog like, what kind of dog is it. And then secondly, and this is the second point, it depends on what kind of person are you. Again, there is no right or wrong, you have to be this type of person in order to adopt the dog. However, some dogs might need a more experienced person, a more experienced dog owner, in order to deal with this dog or with this breed or with this particular dog, and with others it might be easier. Also, it depends a bit on where you rescue your dog from. Some organizations won't hand out dogs or won't rehome if you haven't owned dogs before, so this is kind of their policy, and you have to have dog experience or at least volunteered and can prove you have worked with dogs. Others don't mind and they're happy if the dogs find home. So it really depends also a bit on where do you kind of get your dog from, but this is a different topic. So generally I would say it also depends on what kind of person are you. Are you a person who really wants to save a life, and this is what it is, you save the dog who's in the shelter, but you also save another life because you make basically room in the shelter? Or are you a person who would take pride in raising a puppy and being there for your dog along the way? I guess so it really depends on what kind of person you are. Generally, if you decide to adopt a dog, then I would highly recommend you, no matter what type of person you are, to really be patient and to work on your own patience. And I'm a person, this doesn't come naturally to me either, so I totally get it. However, this is something that is really important because it has been a change in environment. It has been a big change for the dog, no matter where they came from. So this is something to keep in mind and to really be patient with the dog. I will link a video down below about the first 3 days, 3 weeks and 3 months with the dog, and what to express and how to decompress them, etc. So yeah, there's a few things to keep in mind. I think it really depends on the person you are, what do you take your pride in, why do you want to get a dog. And this is actually the third point I would like to talk about. Not just why do you want to get a dog, like, you know, like there's one thing obviously of like why do you want, or like why do you consider a rescue dog? Is this something like morally, is this something ethical, is this something you think is the right thing to do? So why, you know, what kind of drives this thought? And I totally understand this. All of my dogs are rescue dogs, and my family dogs all were rescue dogs too, so I totally 100% get it. However, also really to think about the purpose of the dog. So not just like why would you consider adopting, but also really taking it a step further and think about why do you want a dog and what do you want the dog for. So most of us do want pet dogs as companion dogs, as dogs to be around and to give them a good life and to provide them with the best home they could possibly have. And would also obviously consider the dog's needs, and we want to meet the dog's needs, and we obviously want to do more, but this is like the basics. We do want to fulfill the dog's needs in order to make the dog happy, to give them a job to do. So if you, for example, have the desire to do professional agility, or to use a dog for dog sports, or to have a dog who can take care of your house, or if you want rather have a dog who's really, really chill and who just hangs out with you on the sofa and you can just cuddle, or you want to take the dog maybe out, etc., then obviously this can look very different. So the purpose obviously then can vary quite a lot. It all boils down to the question, what do you expect from your dog? What do you expect your dog to do? And if you get a puppy, then obviously you can't take the puppy straight away to certain things or expect certain things from the puppy. However, they are young, you can train them, they are quite easy to handle, they are happy-go-lucky puppies very often. They are not yet maybe fully grown adult dogs, or dogs who are fully in adolescence when you adopt them, or maybe one of my dogs was 6 when I got him, so you know there has been a history. These dogs have been already formed. If you get a puppy, you can mold the puppy, you can still shape the puppy's experiences, you can help the puppy make better decisions, you can help the puppy share certain behaviors, you can train them, etc. So even then, not every dog might be right for you. So I will link another video down below about questions to ask yourself before getting a dog generally. However, and I highly advise you to do your research on breed, etc., what you want, and not go purely for optics or aesthetics, etc., but to really think about what you expect from your dog. If you adopt a dog who has maybe lived on the streets, etc., then this might never be a dog you can take to the pub, because they might just simply be overwhelmed and it's very unnatural for them. If you have a dog who has been really bad experiences, then city life might not be the right one for you. It really depends on what you expect from your dog. Generally though, I think this is the question for every dog, not just first time dog owners, but also for experienced dog owners. However, I think, and this I would really like to stress, because I think very often if we never had a rescue dog or a dog generally before, we can totally underestimate how much time, work, money, etc. Dogs can actually cost us. So with a rescue dog, you will have a certain period of time where you shouldn't expect anything from your dog, where you basically just let them arrive, where you let them come to you, where you don't put any pressure on your dog. And this can be very, very different to getting a puppy. A puppy might be very happy go lucky, coming to you, wanting to hang out with you the whole time. A rescue dog might not be. They might take some time until they come to you. And also, if they have never really lived with someone, or if they maybe have been living with just one person, and you are a person who likes to have family around, likes to have big parties, etc., this can be quite tricky. Again, with a puppy, this might be very different. Or with a young dog, you can start to socialize them, introduce them way quicker to certain things. Linked to this point is the fourth point I would like to give you as some food for thought, and this is how much time do you have? And when I say how much time do you have for a rescue dog, I would advise you clear out your schedule and just be there. And for a puppy, this is very similar. Obviously, you want to be there for the puppy too. However, I would find it way easier to have someone looking after a puppy than maybe having someone looking after a rescue dog who is maybe a bit challenged in his or her behavior. So to really help the dog settle and to really provide safe shelter before you build on this, so you first want to build the relationship you have with your dog and then take it really slow. So this all boils down also to what kind of person are you, the patience bit, what kind of dog is it. So you can already see they are linked to one another, but there's different things you might want to think about. There are always dogs in the shelter, and really considering is now the right time to rehome a dog or to adopt a dog or to get a dog just now, or whether maybe to wait a bit until a better time comes up. So maybe they have separation related behaviors, maybe they have separation anxiety as it's often called, and maybe you simply cannot leave them home alone. You cannot leave them maybe even for a few hours, because they might be really destructive and they might just completely panic. So this is definitely something to keep in mind, to really how much time do you have, is someone at home. And I know for a lot of charities they would only rehome dogs to people who are actually working from home, or where someone is at home most of the time. And then the last point I would like to talk about, and this is the fifth point, and this is, are there other people who have to be considered as well? And if you have other people to be considered, then all the questions you ask yourself of kind of like, what kind of person are you, are also relevant obviously for this person. Do you function as a team? Yeah, so this also would then boil back to the dog. Can the dog actually live with other dogs? Can the dog live with other pets? Can the dog live with other children? Is the dog safe around children? Generally, I would always recommend supervision when children and dogs interact, and not to leave them alone, and also to set clear boundaries. However, you might want to ask this question, and you might want to be careful about this. Also to make sure to bring everyone who is involved basically in this adoption to the rescue center, so everyone can meet the dog and you have a united decision to adopt this dog, or to be willing to adopt the dog, because it can be quite tough if not everyone is right behind this decision if you bring a rescue dog into your home. And the last thing you want to do is to re-traumatize the dog and decide after 2 weeks, oh, this is not working out, and we bring the dog back to the shelter. Please don't. Please don't. So I think these were like the main points that I would like to highlight. I would be really interested into hearing from you if you maybe have decided to adopt a dog as a first time dog owner, and what made you adopt the dog, and what helped you, what were maybe surprises, etc. So I would love to hear your story in the comments, and I would obviously also love to connect with other rescue dog owners. If you would like to keep watching, then I would recommend you either the video on the 3-3-3 rules, so the first 3 days, 3 weeks and 3 months with your new rescue dog, or checking out the video 7 things I wish I knew before adopting a dog. Everything else I mentioned you will find in the description down below, and I will see you next time.